Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Garnet Sports Network. I'm Matt Fine with some college baseball this afternoon on a very chilly, windy afternoon at Clothier Field on the campus of Swarthmore. Ursinus is in town. In case you are checking your schedule, you might be saying to yourself that this game was supposed to be played in Collegeville at Ursinus. You are correct, but after last night's rain into early this morning, Clothier Field is in better shape. So they have flipped the two-game set today in Swarthmore. Friday now, the Garnet will head up the blue route towards Collegeville as we are getting underway, a 9-inning Tuesday Centennial League battle as Jeremy Jensen goes high and tight to the leadoff batter in Dylan Kramer. Kramer is a center fielder, a sophomore. He'll be followed by Peter Balos, Solon Griffith, Tim Pine, Jacob Cantor in the 5-hole, Mateo Falcone at number 6. Jared Minabach will bat 7th and play 3rd. Nick Diaz will catch in the 8th spot. And number 9, Jordan Williams, the freshman, plays shortstop for the Bears. The 1-2 hit to center field, but right at Kurt Terada-Herzer for out number 1.
Number 34, Peter Balos.
This brings up Peter Balos. First pitch swinging to right field, tracked down by Paul Cook, and 2 quick outs here in the top of the first. Defensively for Coach Matt Midkiff's crew, it is Austin Burgess in left, Kurt Terada-Herzer in center field, Paul Cook in right. In the infield, left to right, Luke Mutz at 3rd. Max Rothwarg will play shortstop. Nate Jabbar at 2nd. Matthew Silvestri at 1st. Andrew Olson behind the plate. And on the mound, Mr. Jensen, 6.00 ERA, 4-0 on the year. This is his 10th appearance. In his 15 innings pitched, given up 10 earned runs, 14 strikeouts compared to 8 walks. The 2-1. The 3-1 high for a ball, so a 2-out base runner as Griffith walks down to first base. This brings up Tim Pine.
Number 39, Tim Pine.
The designated hitter, 6'4", 225 from Crofton, Maryland. First pitch blocked nicely. This one popped up. It'll get out of play. Pine hitting really well this year. Doesn't have a ton of at-bats, but in his 22 at-bats, he's got 11 hits on the year. His 13th appearance. He has started now 7 games. And again, at just 22 plate appearances or at-bats, really 9 RBIs. That includes a home run and a double. And he's got an even count, 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner on first. Cantor is on deck, number 5. And again, we go 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes your 3-1. Fastball right at him, and this is fisted into left, and it will drop. And going first to third with some aggressive base running is Griffith. Moving on contact, no reason to stop. And so after a couple of easy putouts at 1-2, we have a walk and now a hit. And runners at the corner, at each corner for Jacob Cantor. Playing second, number 5 is a freshman. Cantor's batting .321 this season. First pitch swinging, pops it up on the right side, and that is out number 3. So Jensen gets out of a little bit of a jam. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the first. Swarthmore coming to bat. Welcome back to Clothier. We move to the bottom of the first inning. Here's Max Rothwarg, the shortstop freshman, leading off, followed by Luke Mutz. Austin Burgess in the 3 spot. Paul Cook at cleanup. Matthew Silvestri will bat number 5. Nate Jabara at number 6. Emmett Reynolds getting the start as a designated hitter in the 7 spot. Kirk Terada Herzer, the center fielder, at 8. Andrew Olson will bat 9th. And they are facing Casey Murphy, number 22. Lower Merion High School graduate from Marion Station, Pennsylvania. Lower Merion ace. Murphy on the year 3-2. This is his 8th start. One of the better ERAs in the Centennial, 2.97. He's been the team's most consistent pitcher this year. 39 and 1/3 innings. Just to give you an idea of how consistent he's been, no other Ursinus pitcher has reached past 30 innings on the year. And assuming Casey gets out of this inning, he'll be in the 40s. "40 strikeouts in those 39 1/3, so he averages about a strikeout per inning. He's only walked 18. This is the ace for the Bears. And there's strikeout number 41 on the year, fastball. And Rothwar goes down looking. So here's Luke Mutz. A couple of Central League guys going at it right now.
Number 7, Luke Mutz.
Mutz from Strathaven, Murphy from Lower Merion. And here's a bunt, a very good bunt. And not even close at first base. Diaz caught off guard. Murphy came in, but way too far in for him, and his momentum was bringing him the other way. So Diaz had the only play, and an infield single it is. So one out base runner, and here's Austin Burgess.
Number 2, Austin Burgess.
Burgess is a very hot hitter right now. 327 this season. Leads the team in every multi-base hit. He leads the team with 11 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs. Not to mention 31 RBIs. They'll pay a lot of attention to Mutz, who leads the Centennial in stolen bases. No balls and 1 strike to the junior left fielder. Burgess is riding a 5-game hit streak, and in 4 of those 5 games, multi-hits. He had 2 against Gettysburg, 2 in each game against Haverford, 3 in Game 1 against Dickinson, and 1 hit in Game 2. Give you an idea of how hot he's been. 1 month ago today, he was batting .283, and today he's batting .327. So Burgess has upped his average about 50 points in about a month's time. He takes a fastball high. Three balls and 1 strike to the 3-hitter. It's about 4 or 5 throws over to first base. And here is a walk. So Burgess wins that battle. And this will bring up Paul Cook now with runners at first and second. Cook from the left side, batting .375.
Number 1, Paul Cook.
Because of his 19 walks on the season, he is actually leading the team with an on-base percentage of .483. He takes a fastball for strike number 1. Defensively behind Casey Murphy in the outfield left to right, Balos, Kramer, Falcone. In the infield left to right, Minabach at third, Williams at short, Cantor at second, Griffith at first, and short and second base, 2 freshmen up the middle, and then Nick Diaz behind the plate. Three freshmen in the field today. Balos is the third freshman with Williams and Cantor. One ball and 2 strikes to Cook. Silvestri on deck. As you might imagine, Ursinus is paying a lot of attention to Mutz at second base. Here comes the 2-2. That ball inside, a fastball pulled. And that's Cook paying attention to the strike zone. He saw Rothwarg strike out looking on a pitch in a similar spot. Of course, Rothwarg is a righty, but it's a similar spot in terms of where the plate is. So Cook tries to waste it and gets another shot at 2-2. Went a little bit high, maybe a little bit out. And big pitch here. Count goes full. We talked about how Cook leads the team. 19 walks this season. He has struck out 23 times, though. All sorts of speed on the base. And he waits another pitch. Good at bat here for Cook. You have Mutz on second, 22 stolen bases this year. You have Burgess on first. He's got 16 stolen bases. And here's your 3-2. Big early pitch in this game. And that's outside. So how about walk number 20 on the season for Cook? And the bases are loaded. A real patient at bat for Cook, fouling off pitches until he finds one that the umpire doesn't like, I should say. I was about to say that he doesn't like, but he loves it. The umpire doesn't like it. He takes a trip down to first base. So here's Matt Silvestri. A bunt single, back-to-back walks, and Silvestri takes a fastball for strike. Silvestri batting .280 this season. .100 official at bats. He's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Chance for Swarthmore to get on the board early in this one against a guy with a .297 ERA. An early run is exactly what Swarthmore would like in this situation. 1 out. Bounced over to the shortstop because of the bobble. Still gets him at first. That's a great 6-4-3 double play to bail out the Bears here in the bottom of the first. I thought on the bobble we might only get 1. But Ursinus turns 2. 1 hit, 3 are left. We head to the second, no score. Welcome back. Top of the second. We'll go 6, 7, and 8. For those keeping score at home, by the way, just 2 left on base last inning with the double play. But regardless, no score here in the second for Mateo Falcone, number 16, the senior. Batting .264 this season. Big swing and a miss. As the sun is playing havoc with our camera as we continue to adjust to a bright sunny sky and dark clouds on the horizon. Good curveball. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch just misses. Good spot on a 1-2. Count goes even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the fastball. And there's a swing and a miss. A similar pitch, just inside a little bit more, high in the zone, and a strikeout for Jensen, his first this afternoon. So Falcone takes a seat. Here's Minabach. For Jensen, he pitched in one of the games over the weekend against Dickinson, 2 2/3, gave up 1 hit, struck out 1 in a 5-2 win. Another good location pitch on no balls and 2 strikes. Shouldn't expect Jensen to go too deep in this game. He hasn't all season. He's been one of those guys that comes in, pitches a couple, and then Coach Midkiff will start piecing his pitching staff together, and they've been real successful doing that. This season, the most Jensen has pitched is 2 2/3, and that's the outing he had against Dickinson on Saturday. Pitched a couple of innings against Haverford. The 1-2, and there is strike number 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. The first one's forward, the second one is backwards looking.
Number 38, Nick Diaz.
And here's number 38, Nick Diaz, the catcher. Diaz from Bridgewater, New Jersey, 5'10", 200 pounds. Diaz batting .256 this season. He's got a good eye, tied for the team lead with 11 walks. Jensen's a prime example of how much better this team is pitching as of late in the Garnet. This one's popped up to the left side. Burgess under it, and that is out number 3. We'll talk more about Jensen when he's back on the mound. But for now, a 1-2-3, top of the second. After a couple of strikeouts, move to the bottom of the second, still no score. We're back. Bottom of the second on the Garnet Sports Network. Matt Fine with you. No score. We'll see 6, 7, and 8. Starting with Nick Jabara, the second baseman, facing Casey Murphy. Jabara, 256 clip this season. Ursinus bailed out on a double play to end the bottom of the first on a real nice play from Williams to Cantor to Griffith. A couple of freshmen up the middle. Actually, in the book, it went 4-6-3, I believe. Actually, we'll go 6-4-3 on the double play that ended the first. So it was Williams to Cantor to Griffith. And now I have a 2-2 count here to Jabara. Quick meeting of the minds. Ursinus, coached by Stan Exeter, a 1992 Lafayette graduate. 26 seasons in baseball in a coaching position, his 10th at Ursinus. We've got a 2-2 count to Jabara. There's a fastball out of the zone, and strike number 3. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Casey Murphy. And here's Emmett Reynolds.
Number 25, Emmett Reynolds.
Reynolds, 233 this season. He's got 10 hits in his 43 at-bats. Another fast behind the zone, gets under it. Cantor is there. Pushed back a little bit, but makes the out. So a couple of quick outs here in the bottom of the second. Kirk Tirada Herzer steps in the 8th spot. Tirada Herzer, 224 this season. Starting in all 31 games. Shows bunt. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. And there is a ball. I had to wait. I thought he might have went. The appeal down the first. He does not. A couple of the infielders for the Bears have started walking towards the dugout, but we go 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he makes good use of his second chance at this at-bat with a single up the middle, right at the feet of Kramer. Tough play for a center fielder. It's coming right at you. If he goes for it, misses it, it's going to scoot maybe all the way to the wall. The grass is a little bit long out there, but it's also a little bit slick from all the rain we got overnight.
Number 5, Andrew Olson.
So he plays conservatively, and we have a single here with 2 away, and Andrew Olson steps in. Olson batting .278 this season, 10 hits. He's got 1 long ball. This one bounced in there. Good secondary by Tirada Herzer, and that allows him to get down to second pretty easily on the wild pitch. An even count, a runner in scoring position. The 1-1, just punched to the right side. Lots of room over there. And a nice catch by Griffith for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We have finished 2 at Clothier, still no score.
Number 10, Jordan Williams.
We'll go 9-1-2 here in the top of the third. No score. Jordan Williams will lead it off, the shortstop. Then we'll go back to Kramer. Here's Jensen in his third inning. Shows bunt. I've been mentioning how well Jensen has been pitching as of late. His last 5 starts, his last 5 appearances, really given up only 1 earned run. And that came against Johns Hopkins on the 5th. Here's the ball hit not too hard. And Jabbar does a nice job charging in and making it look pretty academic for out number 1.
Number 9, Dylan Kramer.
And here's Kramer, who flew out to center field in his first at bat. And we have a pitching change right on cue. So after 2 1/3, we'll see our second pitcher of the afternoon. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce you to the new pitcher, and we'll reset.
Garnet, number 10.
We're back with number 10 on the mound, Casey Jordan, a sophomore from New Hampshire. Jordan 1-0 on the year, his 11th appearance, a 2.89 ERA. And Jensen saw all 9 batters, kept it scoreless. We go back to the top of the order now. So Kramer will see his second pitcher this afternoon. When Jensen was in there, Kramer flew out to center field. So it was 0 for 1. Much different delivery, kind of a 3/4 delivery. So the entire lineup for Ursinus saw kind of more of an over-the-top kind of guy. And Jensen now, they get Jordan kind of coming from the side a little bit. We should see, depending on how things go, of course, conservatively, we'll see 5 pitchers today for Swarthmore. This one off the glove and over to first. How about that? That's a 1-6-3 technically. If that had not been hit by Jordan, that would have went right up the middle. Almost a slingshot over to Rothwarg, who kept his eye on the ball, over to Silvestri. And that is out number 2. Kramer, not a lot of luck there as he hit that ball real nicely up the middle. Here's Peter Balos. The left fielder flew out to right in his first at bat. And he gets ahead. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 away. He wastes a pitch there. This one's fouled off. Quickly, the line on Jensen, by the way, 33 pitches in his 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 2. Of course, gave up no runs as we're still scoreless. So Jensen, a nice outing. He's been doing it pretty consistently for the last month or so. This one bounced, but foul. I'll get to some other games around the Centennial this afternoon. I'll tell you about one postponement, by the way. There are 4 games going on, but we do have one postponement because of the weather. Dickinson and Gettysburg will not play today. They've rescheduled for tomorrow at 3:30. I'll get to some other scores. Full count. Good defensive swing by number 34. Balos batting .245 this season. And that is ball number 4. So 2-out base runner for the Bears.
Number 26, Solomon Griffith.
Solomon Griffith comes in. Griffith from Ocean City, New Jersey. Shows bunt. Takes a strike. As you might expect from the 3-hitter, Griffith leading the team in all sorts of different categories. Hits one hard to left field. Give him a hit. So after a couple of outs, we got a couple of base runners. A walk to Balos, a single by Griffith. And this brings up Tim Pine.
Number 39, Tim Pine.
He singled it in his first at bat. One ball, no strikes to the four hitter. At the second base, they got him. They got him leaning. Real nice pickoff play by Jordan. You had Rothwar coming in, and Balos is nailed at second base. Out of the jam they get, we move to the bottom of the third, still no score. We're back, bottom of the third. Swarthmore getting out of a jam in the top of the third. Nice pickoff play. Jordan the Rothwarg. And that's where we'll start off the bottom of the third with said Max Rothwarg, the freshman shortstop. Struck out looking in his first at bat to Casey Murphy. First pitch swinging. This one's going to be a little bit tough. Nice big hop, and does get the shortstop by a foot. One out after one pitch. Luke Mutt steps in, 1-for-1 this afternoon on a bunt that caught the Bears by surprise.
Luke Mutz.
Mutz came into today batting .408. That hit, by the way, the bunt was number 50 already this season. So some scores around the Centennial this afternoon. Hopkins is at McDaniel. Try to get you an update there. It doesn't look like they have anything posted quite yet. Let's see if I can find something for you. So they've not started keeping score of that game. It is underway. A big game between Franklin and Marshall at Washington College. Franklin and Marshall's undefeated streak came to an end over the weekend as they lost both to Johns Hopkins, which was good news for Swarthmore fans, by the way. But Washington College desperately needing wins to stay in the race. But right now, Franklin and Marshall up 2-1 in the bottom of the third, so very early there, of course. You have the game here at Swarthmore, and then there's Muhlenberg over at Haverford. Muhlenberg up 2-0 on the Fords. That game in the fourth. And a 1-2 here. That goes inside. You have Murphy challenging Mutz. The 2-2. This one to left center field, and it splits the gap. It goes all the way towards the fence. A stand-up double for Luke Mutz. He took a little bit of a wider turn than I was expecting. That'll get you holding your breath for a second. Hitting it right towards the crowd to the left of the Garnet sign in left center field. And with one away, a runner in scoring position. So Mutz 2 for 2 today. And here's Burgess, who walked in his first at bat. Lots of room on the right side for Burgess as they try to keep Mutz on. Here he goes. On the off-speed pitch. And the throw down to third in the dirt. Another stolen base for number 7. Wasting no time whatsoever. Stolen base number 23 on the year in 24 attempts. This one popped up at the first base bag. Unfortunate for Swarthmore. They already had a runner at third in the first inning with less than 2 outs, unable to score him. And now they have a runner at third in the third inning, less than 2 outs. Burgess unable to move him. So now it's up to Paul Cook.
Number 1, Paul Cook.
Looks bunt. Trying to squeeze. And that'll get it done. Again, unexpected. You had Casey Murphy coming off the mound. The grass is a little bit wet. Slips and really has no chance, even if he had fielded that cleanly. You had Cook halfway to third on a really nice bunt. The bunt just got a little bit of air. And Mutz coming home on contact. And a 1-0 lead in favor of the Garnet.
Number 23, Matt Silvestri.
Second bunt for a hit this afternoon. For Mutz, 38 runs scored this year. For Cook, that's RBI number 18. As Silvestri waits in. Silvestri hit the ball real hard right at the shortstop. Turned into a 6-4-3 double play. It was hit hard enough that Williams actually bobbled it at short and still got the double play. Down the second. Safe at second. Another stolen base. So 2 stolen bases in this inning. The big one coming from Mutz going second to third. That allowed him to come in on the bunt, on the squeeze. And now Cook down the second base as well. It's giving teams fits. This Swarthmore team is just so fast. Big swing on a big pitch. The 0-2. And a runner going to third, but we'll do that again. Got to play defense on 0-2, little hit and run. Interesting time to be running. You figure with 2 outs on contact, Cook's going to score from second. Nonetheless, we're no balls and 2 strikes again to Silvestri. And that is strike number 3. So Murphy gets out of it once again, but this time not without giving up a run. The first run of the afternoon scored on a bunt play with Mutz coming in from third. We're 1-0 after 3 here at Clothier. We are back top 4, a 1-0 ball game. The first run of the afternoon belongs to Swarthmore, scoring that single run in the bottom of the third. And we'll see 4, 5, and 6 here in the top of the fourth for the Bears. Tim Pine is up. He was in the batter's box in the top of the third, but a pickoff play at second base ended the inning early. And so Pine is back in there with a clean count. Pine 1 for 1 today. He's facing a new pitcher. This is number 27, Kyle Jones-Shaw. A 4.19 ERA, his 12th appearance on the year. No decisions this year. 19 1/3 innings. His last outing back on the 9th of April against Gettysburg. Pitched 1 1/3, gave up 1 earned run. Pitcher number 3 for the Garnet. Jordan's line, 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, walked 1. No runs, of course. And that one comes in, hits the big guy, and down the first base he goes. So leadoff base runner for the first time this afternoon for the Bears.
Number 5, Jacob Cantor.
Here's Jacob Cantor. Cantor flew out to right field in his first at bat. Showing bunt, pulls back. And down to first. A close play. As both teams looking at some small ball today. Both coaches believing that runs are coming at a minimum this afternoon. Although it's not too out of character for Swarthmore to play like this no matter what. The 1-0. Cantor does not show bunt there, but Mutt's still about a foot or two onto the grass at third base. Showing bunt one more time. The 2-0 pulls back again, this time a strike. The 2-1. Ball hit right to the pitcher. The force play at second, over to first, and picking it is Silvestri. Some big plays in the pitcher position. This one goes 1-6-3. And quickly 2 outs now here in the top of the fourth.
Number 16, Mateo Falcone.
Here's Mateo Falcone, who struck out in his first at bat in the second inning. So each team with a double play this afternoon. You saw a ball earlier hit off the pitcher and go right to Rothward for an out. This time it was cleanly picked up by Jones Shaw to start a double play. Falcone fouls it back. Falcone from Yonkers, New York, suburb of New York City. The 1-1, just a bit high. There's a fastball evening up the count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Base is now clear. The 2-2, and we'll go full count. A 3-2 again. This one taken on the knee. Another hit by pitch. The second this inning. The first one didn't hurt much. At least didn't hurt Swarthmore much as they picked up a double play.
Number 21, Jared Minickbach.
Here's Minickbach. Jared Minickbach, the third baseman. The sophomore struck out looking in the second inning. He falls behind. No balls and 1 strike. It is a chilly day here at Swarthmore. It's been a chilly spring. It's been a chilly and wet spring. The nice days we've had have been few and far between in terms of baseball weather. It's supposed to get nicer as the week moves along. Early indications are this weekend will be very nice, especially on Friday when Swarthmore heads up to Collegeville to return the favor in Game 2 against Ursinus. We have Diaz on deck. The 2-1. This one off the fist, not hit strongly at all, and as a result, Rothwag really unable to get to the ball quickly enough, and it got by Mutz. So an infield single. And after a couple of outs, a couple of base runners. And here's Nick Diaz. The catcher flew out to left field in his first at-bat. That ended the second inning. A little bit of deja vu here. We had 2 outs in the third before a couple of guys got on a walk and a single. Now here in the fourth, with 2 outs, we had a hit by pitch and a single. So a couple of runners on once again in back-to-back innings, but 2 away. Diaz in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Number 38 batting .256 this season. Ten hits coming into today. Looking for number 11. 11 would be big. Could tie this game up. Hard hit ball to left side. Being waved home. And no play at the plate. And an RBI single ties things up, as Falcone comes around third to score. Diaz with a hit, give him an RBI. And a meeting at the mound and a pitching change. So Coach Midkiff has seen enough from pitcher number 3 and will go right to pitcher number 4 while we are still here in the 4th inning. Take a break, coming back on the Garnet Sports Network. Here is Owen Webb, number 30.
Number 10, Jordan Williams.
A 9.00 ERA, 1-0 on the year. His 13th appearance. He's pitched 9 innings this year, and he's facing number 10, Jordan Williams, who grounded out to the second baseman on a nice play by Jabara. That was back 1 inning ago in the third. Couple of runners on board. Minnickbach at second base, Diaz at first. Had a couple of singles this inning. We've had 2 guys hit by pitch, and we've had a double play. Two balls and no strikes. Make that 2 balls and 1 strike now. Some high heat from Webb. Webb pitched a third of an inning over the weekend in the 5-2 win at Dickinson. Two balls, 2 strikes. His 2s are wild with 2 outs. Webb sees a lot of action. He pitched an inning against Haverford last Friday. Then he came in and pitched the third against Dickinson. He's back in today. That pitch just hit into the ground. We'll try the 2-2 once again. A couple of runners on. That pitch misses high for a ball. The count goes 3-2. So with 2 outs, runners will be off on the pitch. The Bears 1 ball away from going back to the top of the order for a third go-around. The 3-2 just fouled. Wins a whipping here at Clothier on a 3-2. And there's strike number 3. And Williams knew it. Looking for one thing, he got another. And Webb gets the Garnet out of a jam. 1 run does come across as the Bears tie it up. We move to the bottom of the 4th, 1-1. We're back, and this game, according to script, you would expect Ursinus trying to go with Murphy as long as possible. I'll explain that to you in a second. This guy just pitches deep into games. Meanwhile, on Tuesdays, Coach Midkiff likes to get in a lot of different pitchers. And both teams are writing up the script like you would expect it. As this is number 14, Nate Jabbar. We'll see 6, 7, and 8. Jabbar, Reynolds, Tirada, Herzer. If you look at Murphy's last 4 starts, these are starts, not appearances, but starts. He's gone 7 innings in 3 of them, 5 innings in the 4th. He went 7 innings and 1 against Albright. This one's popped up. Shallow center coming in nicely. Kramer for out number 1. But one of the more impressive outings for Casey Murphy came in a 9-2 win on April 12th. A 9-2 win over Muhlenberg. He pitched 7 innings, struck out 10. He also struck out 14 batters against Albright. So this guy goes deep. And right now we're in the 4th. And he seems to be in control with Emmett Reynolds up. If I'm giving him a little bit of love, it's because he's a Lower Merion graduate, which I am as well. So go Aces. One ball, one strike to the designated hitter. Reynolds popped up to the second baseman in his first at bat. Both these teams are fighting for 2 different things. All of a sudden, Swarthmore, thanks to a 5-game win streak, is tied for the top seed right now in the Centennial. After Franklin and Marshall dropped both games over the weekend. Now, Franklin and Marshall and Swarthmore at the top, both 8-2. This one's popped up a mile high. Coming in, Falcone going out is Cantor, and Cantor gets the play at second base for out number 2. So a couple of pop-ups to the second baseman for Reynolds, and we'll see Tirada Herzer. But Franklin and Marshall, Swarthmore, both 8-2. Hopkins 1 game back at 7-3. And there's a little bit of a logjam. 3 teams have 4 losses. Remember, 4 teams get into the Centennial in terms of the playoffs. Haverford and Gettysburg both 6-4. And then you have Washington College. The Shoremen have played 2 fewer games. They're 4-4, technically on the outside looking in, but in the loss column, they're tied up with Gettysburg and Haverford. And right now, Washington College has the 2nd longest win streak in the conference behind Swarthmore. Swarthmore's won 5 straight. Washington College has won 4 straight. So the Shoremen trying to get back into this conversation. And Franklin and Marshall is taking on Washington College as we speak. So a real important game between those teams as Franklin and Marshall is trying to keep pace and stay atop the Centennial. Meanwhile, Washington College is just trying to get in. And it's the same here. Ursinus is 3-5 with not a lot of room for error right now. They must start to pick up wins. Meanwhile, Swarthmore is just trying to continue to put some distance between itself and the other teams in the Centennial. Of course, top 4 teams make it, as I mentioned, but in the first round, 2 plays 3 and 1 plays 4. And that first round, they're home. It's a double elimination. So seeds 1 and 2 will be home to start the playoffs, but when they move into the weekend, the top seed will host everybody. So a lot is riding on that top seed when you move into the Centennial. You don't have to think too far back, 2018, when Swarthmore won the conference, celebrated here, won the regionals, and moved into the Division III World Series. They were 15-3 in conference that year. So home field means a lot. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll go even, 2-2. The 2-2 popped up. This one will stay in play, and that is out number 3. 3 flyouts. One from Jabbar, Reynolds, and now Terada Herzer. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 4th. We're moving to the 5th, still tied at 1. We are moving along into the 5th inning on the Garnet Sports Network. Matt Fine with you at a game that was supposed to be played in Collegeville, but with some rain, plenty of it overnight, they flipped the switch, and we're playing here at Swarthmore on Tuesday, and then these two teams will head over to Collegeville on Friday. If you've ever been to Ursinus and you see the baseball field, it's low level, and so it's not surprising that sometimes the rain will have to get the best of it over there. But the field's looking pretty good here on campus at Clothier, with Rowan Cherry, number 40, pitching now for the Garnet. He's got the top of the order, Kramer, Balos, and Griffith. Cherry is 6.75 ERA, his 11th appearance. Does have 1 start. He jams the leadoff batter. Officially 0-2 on the season. 13 1/3 innings. 10 earned runs. Pretty nice outing over the weekend in that win over Dickinson, the 5-2 win. Pitched 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 earned run, 1 hit. Again, Kramer 0 for 2. Flew out to center field and then grounded into a double play, 1-6-3. That ball's hit pretty hard to left, but right at Burgess for out number 1. Here comes Peter Balos, the left fielder, a freshman. He walked in the third, but got picked off at second base. An unfortunate turn of events for the Bears as that ended a possible rally in the third. You're 0-1. Got a Johns Hopkins update against McDaniel. Hopkins losing 4-2 in the top of the 6th, which would be obviously a major surprise. McDaniel 2-8 in conference. So you're taking a 7-3 team losing right now to a 2-8 team. Of course, we got a tight one here as well. 3 balls and 1 strike to Balos. Let's go to a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the big swing and a miss. This one on the hands popped up and foul. Good fastball. Maybe a two-seamer coming in on him a little bit. It's an identical scoreboard right now. Both teams with 1 run, 4 hits, no errors between them. This one to the right side. Cook is there. And that is out number 2. So a fly out to left, a fly out to right. And here's Solomon Griffith. Swing and a miss. Griffith walked in his first at bat and singled in his second, so a couple of quality at bats for number 26. And this one up the middle, past a diving Rothwar and into center field, and a 2-out base runner for the Bears. The Bears have been problematic with 2 outs. Back in the third, they put a couple of runners on with 2 outs. They were bailed out by the pickoff play.
39, Tim Pine.
And then they had 2 outs in the fourth before the batter got hit, a couple of singles, and a run later. We seem to be moving in the same direction here now with 2 outs. And now we've got runners at first and third. First pitch swinging for Pine. And Griffith comes all the way around. So it's been a familiar scene here with Cantor coming up. The Garnet have had a tough time finding that ender. Even going back to the first inning, they got the first 2 outs quickly before a walk and a single put runners at first and third. So it's been these little 2-out rallies by Ursinus. Of course, it hasn't really hurt Swarthmore too much, just that single run. But now the go-ahead run here in the 5th is 90 feet away. And a 2-0 count. Cantor flew out to right in his first at bat. Grounded into a double play in his second at bat. This one tight. 3 balls and no strikes. You can expect Cantor to take here, trying to load up the bases. See if they can get Falcone to the plate. That one's right over, taken all the way. Strike number 2, so 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll have the runner at first moving on the pitch. That is Pine at first. Pine has reached all 3 times today. He came into today batting .500. So his average is going to continue to keep rising and rising. He is officially 13 for 24 this year, if my math is correct. Here's the 3-2 one more time. And that is ball 4. Pitch a little bit low, and the bases are now loaded.
Number 16, Mateo Falcone.
Here's Falcone. So after a couple of flyouts to left and right, we have a single, and a walk, and the bases are loaded. Falcone struck out in his first at bat, hit by a pitch, and scored the only run this afternoon for the Bears. Good looking pitch, low in the zone, Machura Curry. None of the runners being kept on. Infield playing pretty honest right now, maybe a little bit towards the line for the corners, with Mutz not too far off third and Silvestri not too far off first, playing behind the runner at first. Outfield pretty much straight up as well. And an 0-2 count. Both pitchers, or pitchers on both sides, have been doing a nice job of working the outside part of that plate to the righties. The umpire's given them that call. It's been pretty consistent with the outside part of the plate in terms of strikes. See if he goes there again on an 0-2. He does. And that ball hopped and out. Number 3. 6-4 on the putout gets the Garnet out of a bases-loaded jam. We're halfway through this Tuesday afternoon affair, tied up at 1.
5, Andrew Olson.
Bottom of the fifth, 1-1. We'll go 9, 1, and 2. Start off with Andrew Olson, with Casey Murphy still on the mound. First pitch popped up, shallow center. Kramer there for out number 1. Olson 0 for 2 this afternoon as we go back to the top of the order. And there's number 18, Max Rothwarg.
Number 18, Max Rothwarg.
Rothwarg struck out looking and grounded out to the shortstop. For Murphy, 4 1/3 so far. Just 66 pitches. Giving up the 1 run it's earned. He has struck out 3. He has walked 2 and scattered those 4 hits. The damage that's been done has come with the small ball. A couple of bunts. Mutz had one that looked real good. Cook had one that brought in a run. Murphy ready to go. This one hit to right field, right center. And Falcone is there for out number 2. I mentioned how chilly it is here. I can see Casey Murphy's dad, by the way, to the right. Everybody's bundled up here at Centennial. Mainly hardy parents. Looking like it's more late February or early March than anything else right now.
Number 7, Luke Mutz.
Well, here's Luke Mutz. Mutz is having himself an afternoon. 2 for 2. He singled on a bunt in the first. He doubled to the left center wall in the 3rd inning and scored the only run this afternoon for the home team. Shows bunt again. This one's popped up and out of play. Minichbach, looking for that now. Although he's behind the third base bag, my guess is, yeah, he'll stay there because it's 0-2. I was unsure for a second if it was 0-1 or 0-2, but now he's back with the 2 strikes. That one just misses inside. Murphy about 20 feet towards the dugout after that pitch. That pitch has been a strike a lot today. Regardless, real good location on an 0-2. See if he goes there again. Nope. Goes off speed and high for a ball. The 2-2, this one in a similar spot, even more possibly on the inside part of the plate. Maybe just off the plate, and a 3-2 count. So full count to the senior. And Mutz takes advantage of that one, goes to right field. 3 for 3 this afternoon. So Mutz on first, a 2-out base runner, and here's Austin Burgess. That's tough at bat. A couple of pitches right on the edge. And I don't see a pitching change coming here. This is a little bit more strategy and maybe a little bit more calm down. As that's the head coach. That's Exeter out there talking to his ace. Maybe talking about Burgess a little bit. Burgess is all sorts of danger out there. And we'll see if they try to get Mutz to second base quickly with the idea that Burgess can bring him in with a single. Mutz does have already one stolen base this afternoon. He picked up a steal from second to third in the third inning, and that was a huge steal because he scored two batters later. That's the first visit this afternoon that didn't result in a pitching change. Burgess has walked and he popped up to the first baseman. Takes this one deep. This is trouble. Up against the wall, high off the wall with 2 outs. Booth waving Mutz home and a go-ahead RBI stand-up double. And Swarthmore takes the lead 2-1 on the junior, blasting one off the Garnet sign in left center field. Right off the bat, you knew that one had distance to it. Mutz running on contact. And now with the runner at second base, Swarthmore takes its second lead of the afternoon. So big turn of events. If you're Swarthmore, you're all excited, obviously, about the double. If you're Ursinus, you're asking yourselves, one of those two pitches on the inside of Mutz was over for a called strike. This inning would be over.
Number 1, Paul Cook.
First hit of the afternoon for Burgess is a big one. Mutz has now scored twice this afternoon. 2 balls to the wall in left center. Mutz has one, Burgess has one. And for Burgess, team leading RBI number 32 on the year. And he can run. Not a great time to run with 2 outs. But Swarthmore likes to run. The 1-0. Coming into this afternoon, Swarthmore 96 stolen bases on 108 attempts. They've got a couple this afternoon already. Before it's all said and done, they might get to 100 on the season. This ball hit a ton, but very foul. Looking to get the ball is Falcone, making a long run out in right field. Two balls and 1 strike. Twos are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. 2 runs for Swarthmore. A runner at second base. Williams really playing behind Burgess. Burgess doesn't seem to care. There he goes. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. On a hit and run. Ends the inning, but not before a run comes in on a double by Austin Burgess. 1 run on a couple of hits. The Garnet leave 1, and they are now leading in this one 2-1 after 5. Let's move to the top of the 6th inning. Matt Fine on the Garnet Sports Network.
21, Jared Minickbach.
Here's Minickbach. Struck out looking in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Bears. 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for Swarthmore. First pitch out of play with Cherry Curry on the mound again. Gets ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Cherry Curry getting out of a jam in the 5th, where the Bears loaded the bases. Popped up right near the line, and an easy put out for Cook, and that is out number 1. Getting that first out has not been a problem for Swarthmore. The second out, neither. It's after those first 2 outs where Ursinus has done a lot of damage, or done all of its damage. Not a lot of damage. They have 1 run, but that's where it's been a headache for the Garnet. So here's Diaz. Diaz singled in his last at bat in the 4th. McDaniel continues to lead Johns Hopkins 7-5 in the 6th. This game at McDaniel. Franklin and Marshall opening it up a little bit against Washington College. Now 6-1 in the 6th inning. The only other game today besides the one here, Muhlenberg all over Haverford. 14-0 at Haverford. Haverford was flying through this conference until they came and played Swarthmore, and Swarthmore took 2, and it's been a rough ride for the Fords ever since. The 2-2 jammed him, foul. Two to 1, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Top of the 6th. Here's your 3-2, and that is strike number 3 right down the pike. Looks like it caught Diaz off guard a little bit, maybe looking for a fastball. He got a little off speed there. And a backwards K in your book. And we've seen this a bunch of innings so far today. 2 quick outs to start the inning. We'll see if Rohan can shut him down before any more damage. Williams grounded out to the second baseman and struck out looking so far this afternoon. The 0-1 looks bunt. Good pitch. Williams in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Freshman from East Brunswick, New Jersey. Hits that ball hard. He gets ahead of it, but foul. The 0-2 again, just off the plate. That previous ball hit towards the softball field. The softball team 18-4 this season, in conference 7-1. If I do a little bit of math between baseball and softball, 15-3 between these two teams. This one just off the end of the bat, and that will be a 1-2-3 inning. Cherry makes quick work of the Bears here in the 6th. We move to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-1 in favor of the Garnet. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1. Got a really good one here between Swarthmore and Ursinus. 5, 6, and 7. Matthew Silvestri starting things off. Grounded sharply into a double play in his first at-bat. Struck out looking. One of 4 strikeout victims this afternoon to Murphy. No crooked numbers on the board. A single run in the 3rd and the 5th for Swarthmore. 1 run in the 4th for Ursinus. And that's where we stand. A 2-1 ball game. It is amazing to see how the pitching has turned around for this Swarthmore team. Their ERA coming into today in the Centennial of 3.42 team ERA. Overall, 6.30. It gives you an idea of just how well they've been pitching. That they're giving up about 2.5 runs to 3 runs fewer per game in the Centennial than they have overall this season. That's Silvestri reaching out and poking one up the middle for a leadoff single, his first hit. Here is one Nate Jabara. Struck out swinging and flew out to left field. Center field, maybe right center field, I should say. Lays down a bunt. Not for a hit, but it gets the job done in terms of a sacrifice. So this moves Silvestri to second. So a sacrifice for number 14. And here's Emmett Reynolds.
Number 25, Emmett Reynolds.
Reynolds has kept Cantor busy. Cantor picked off 2 outs from Reynolds, both pop-ups to the second baseman. Interestingly here, though, the way they're set up, Cantor is trying to hold on Silvestri at second, so both places where Reynolds hit the ball, there's actually no one standing there anymore because the second baseman's really pulling. But this time he pulls one deep to left field, back, and gone! How about that? Emmett Reynolds jumps on a ball well over the left field wall. That's a 2-run blast and a 4-1 lead in favor of the Garnet. Emmett Reynolds getting the start in the designated hitter spot today and making Coach Matt Midkiff look brilliant in that change. For Reynolds, that's home run number 1 this season.
Number 11, Tarada Herzer.
We've seen a couple of hard hit balls to the left side. That's the first one that's gone over the fence. Pretty much a no-doubter. First crooked number today, 2 runs here in the 6th. It's opened it up a little bit, 4-1 now. You have to wonder how much longer Murphy will be in there. His pitch count has broken the 90 mark. For Reynolds, 2 RBIs brings him to 7 on the season. His 5th extra base hit. All the others have been doubles. As for Tarada Herzer at the plate, 1 for 2 this afternoon. Singled and popped up in the foul territory behind home plate. And there he goes fishing for out number 2. So Murphy comes back, picks up the strikeout, his 5th. And here's Andrew Olson with 2 away, nobody on.
Number 5, Andrew Olson.
A little bit of breathing room here now in the bottom of the 6th. We haven't seen any real hard balls to the right side. All the power has been to the left side today. We saw Burgess go up to the wall. We saw Mutz go up to the wall, both in left center field. The Burgess one hit the wall in the air, about halfway up the wall. Reynolds going well over it. One ball and 2 strikes. Murphy wanted that one. That one was off the plate, though. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very loud dugout on the left side. Swarthmore has been a different team since they moved in the conference, playing with all sorts of confidence and playing pretty loose too. The 2-2. Good fight here. Into right center field, and that one drops. You saw Cantor going back. It was up in the air a long time. But Falcone was playing a little bit towards the line. And Kramer, also on his horse, couldn't get there as well. It's an unfortunate hit for the Bears side, but it keeps the inning alive on the Garnet side. And it looks like we might have a pitching change coming here, the first of the day. And we do. A new pitcher coming in for Ursinus as Casey Murphy goes back to the bench. We'll take a quick break and reset on a 4-1 ball game here in the bottom of the sixth in favor of Swarthmore. On the mound, the lefty, David Morgan, number 6 from Venice, Florida. And he's back to the top of the order, and first pitch is Max Rothwarg into left field. So one pitch for the reliever and a base runner. Olson stops at second, and the inning continues for the Garnet. Hit number 1 this afternoon for Rothwarg. He is 1 for 4, and here's Luke Mutz. Luke Mutz is only 3 for 3 today. A couple of singles, a double, scored 2 runs.
Number 7, Luke Mutz.
And Mutz has a chance to really open this up. All sorts of real estate in right center field. Morgan, no decisions this year. This is his his 12th appearance, a 4.02 ERA. The 1-0, fastball high. The 2-0 bounced to the second baseman. A good hop and over to first for out number 3. But some damage done. A couple of runs put up in the bottom of the 6th thanks to a home run off the bat of Emmett Reynolds. 4-1 as we've played 6 at Clothier. Let us move to the top of the 7th inning on the Garnet Sports Network. Got a good one here, 4-1. It's been a tight one most of the way. A couple of runs by Swarthmore in the bottom of the 6th. Opens it up a little bit. Let me go back to the top of the order for the Bears. It's Kramer facing a new pitcher, Zach Camp, number 20 on the mound. A senior from Smyrna, Georgia. 6.99 ERA, 0-2 on the year. 14 appearances if you include this one. And Cherukuri done for the afternoon. Real nice job by number 40. 2 innings pitched. Gave up 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Gets him swinging. Good pitch outside the zone. 1 batter in, 1 strikeout.
Now batting number 34, Peter Bayless.
The 6th pitcher this afternoon for Coach Midkiff. Here's Balos. First pitch, number 34 to left field. That's going to drop in. And a stand-up, 1-out double. That's the hardest hit ball this afternoon for the Bears.
Now batting number 26, Solomon Griffith.
Solomon Griffith steps in now with a runner in scoring position. The first extra base hit this afternoon for Ursinus. Griffith falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes to the junior. One ball and 2 strikes. This one fouled away. We'll do this one again. Fourth time through the order. Ursinus with 1 run on 7 hits compared to Swarthmore 4 runs on 10 hits. Neither team has picked up an error this afternoon. And another strikeout. Give Camp his 2nd one this inning. Kramer goes down swinging, and then after a double, Griffith does. And here's been the big problem this afternoon for Swarthmore pitching. They haven't been able to figure out Pine, who's 2 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. He took one to left field in his first at bat. Then after he got hit by a pitch, he took one to right field. And those are his 2 hits this afternoon. Inside again. A couple of inside pitches. Balos at second base, a runner in scoring position, 2 away. Coming inside again, but this one a little more heat on it. Pine does have 1 home run on the year. He is the tying run right now here in the 7th. And we're all even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Ursinus in their gold and black uniforms. This one over to first base and an easy play as Silvestri's there and waves off Camp on the cover. And the 7th inning is up for the Bears. They do put 1 on, but none come across. We will stretch here at Clothier 4-1 in favor of Swarthmore. Bottom of the 7th inning, a Clothier 4-1 in favor of Swarthmore, looking for win number 6 in a row. We'll see 3, 4, and 5 here in the 7th.
Number 2, Austin Burgess.
We'll go Burgess, Cook, and Silvestri. The line on Murphy, by the way, 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs all earned, give up 9 hits, struck out 5, and he walked 2. He's on the hook for the loss.
Yep.
This ball hit hard. Left center, back, and high off the wall. Burgess does it again. Another double for number 2. A leadoff base runner in scoring position. Pretty similar to the last double he hit in the 5th inning. Not exact, but pretty close. So after a walk in the first for Burgess, and he popped up to the first baseman in his second at bat, back-to-back doubles off the wall. 1 in the 5th and 1 here in the 7th. And now you have Paul Cook coming up.
Number 1, Paul Cook.
Cook is 1 for 2. And he walked, and he lays one down. Trying to get a hit out of this one. Real nice play at first. So the sacrifice does work. Close to being first and third, nobody out, but Swarthmore will settle for a runner at third with 1 out now. The Garnet really laying down the bunts today.
Matt Silvestri.
Here's Matt Silvestri, who singled and scored in the 6th inning off the blast from Reynolds. Infield's in, right at the second baseman, 1 pitch in. And the moving the infield in worked like a charm for the Bears. And now with 2 outs, Swarthmore looking for some 2-out magic from Nate Jabara.
Number 14, Nate Jabara.
A believe all three batters this inning have put the ball in play on the first pitch. I think the double from Burgess was the first pitch. The bunt from Cook was the first pitch. And that hit to the right side from Silvestris was the first pitch. Now here's Jabbar taking. And he is in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Burgess, by the way, came into the game today 11 doubles, so add 2 more to that. 13 doubles on the year. And that is the team lead. Cook has 10. Burgess with his total bases also, it continues to rise. He's approaching 70. Burgess would like nothing more than a wild pitch or a pass ball here. A couple of balls low in the zone. It's already 4-1. Another run for Swarthmore is going to put Ursinus in a pretty big hole. This one popped up. That'll get out of play. Oh, not out of play. Right up against the fence. I was wrong on that one. I apologize. That is out number 3. Nice play by Griffith. There's just more room back there than what I saw. That will do it for Swarthmore here in the bottom of the 7th as they waste a leadoff double. We've played 7, 4-1. Top of the 8th. 5, 6, and 7 for Ursinus. We'll start with Jacob Cantor. Camp still on the mound. Cantor has reached once today on a walk. Besides that, flew out to right field and grounded out into a double play. It's getting interesting at McDaniel. Top of the 8th, 7-6. McDaniel over Johns Hopkins. That game is getting tighter and tighter. After this game, we have the Tuesday, Friday home and home that you normally see. This one's bounced. Nice little hop. That's right where Rafaarg wants it, and that's out number 1, 6-3. And here's Falcone coming up.
Number 16, Mateo Falcone.
So you have the home and home. Again, Ursinus was supposed to be home today, but instead They come to Swarthmore because of the rain last night, so Ursinus will host on Friday now. And then over the weekend, for the Garnet, they'll travel to Maryland to take on McDaniel in a doubleheader on Saturday, 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Then they're back home next Tuesday, 1 week from today, against Muhlenberg on the 26th. And then after that 2-game set with Muhlenberg, we're at the end of the regular season. And what looks to be a huge 2-game set. It's just really setting up well for these two teams, as Franklin and Marshall at Diplomats will come to town on April 30th for 2 games. And if things continue on the path that they are, the regular season champion will come out of that 2-game set. A little early to really bank on it, but we're moving in that direction right now. And that'll be an exciting weekend, as that will lead the Centennial into the playoffs the next week. We'll move right into May. The 2-2. And out number 2, as Falcone strikes out for the second time this afternoon. And here's Minichbach.
Number 21, Jared Minichbach.
Has a team 7 strikeouts today between all the pitchers for Swarthmore. Minichbach is one of those. He struck out in the second inning looking. Also single and flew out to right. For Ursinus, again, got Swarthmore at home on Friday, and then they're home against Dickinson, Senior Day on Saturday the 23rd, before heading down to Washington College in Maryland. Two balls and 2 strikes. In the bottom of the 8th, Swarthmore hoping that it's their final at bat this afternoon. We'll see 7, 8, and 9. That went inside, so 2-out base runner. And I would say it's harmless, but that's where the Bears have done a lot of their damage today. At least that's where they've given Swarthmore some fits. They've only scored that 1 run, but any rally that they've had seems to come with 2 outs today. This is number 38, Nick Diaz. 1 for 3. That one just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Diaz gets ahead of the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 run, 7 hits for the visitors. 4 runs on 11 hits for the home team. That will even up the count. 2s are wild on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. Did he go? He did not. They appeal down to the umpire behind the mound, and the count goes 3 balls and 2 strikes now. So runner going on the pitch from first base. Runner goes 3-2, and that is strike number 3. Down go the Bears here in the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 8th, 4-1 in favor of Swarthmore. We're back, bottom of the 8th, 7, 8, and 9. We'll start off with Emmett Reynolds. Reynolds with a blast in the 6th inning that opened up this game. A 2-run shot to left field, scoring Silvestri, and that made it 4-1. This one popped up to center field. Kramer is there for out number 1. New pitcher on the mound, Connor Borganski.
Number 11, Kirk Tirada Herzer.
And he'll face Kirk Tirada Herzer. Borganski, 3.46 ERA, his 10th appearance this year. He's given up 5 earned runs in his 13 innings. Pitch high for a ball. Count goes 1 ball and 1 strike. The line on Morgan, 1 1/3 innings. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. Pitcher number 3 so far this afternoon for Coach Exeter. This ball hit the left field. It's going to die right at the feet of Balos for a 1-out single from the 8th spot. So Tirada Herzer is on board, and here comes Andrew Olson. That's hit number 2 for Tarada Herzer, by the way, this afternoon, 2 for 4. Olson has a single to his name.
Andrew Olson.
It's a fastball for a strike. The sun is back out. It's dark in the background. Looks like we have some storm clouds out past the outfield, but right over the field right now, the sun is shining on a blustery mid-April afternoon. I saw on Twitter today a picture of, I think it was the Vermont Mountaineers, which is in Montpelier, Vermont. It's a summer collegiate league, and that field was absolutely covered in snow. Not just an inch, inches of snow. It was unbelievable. It's a really cool scene. This one popped to right field. Wind playing with it a little bit coming in. Falcone for out number 2. Let's go back to the top of the order. There's number 18, Max Rothwarg.
Number 18, Max Rothwarg.
Rothwarg 1 for 4 this afternoon. He singled to left in his last at bat. That came in the 6th inning. There'll be one more shot for the Bears in the top of the 9th. We'll see 9, 1, and 2 when we get there. It'll start with Jordan Williams, short of a pinch hitter. The runner goes. This one's popped up. Difficult spot and a nice play by Cantor, who was moving over to cover second on the stolen base, but he makes the out. That is out number 3. That will do it in the bottom of the 8th for the Garnet. They do pick up a hit, but no one crosses. We're moving to the top of the 9th. One more shot for the Bears, 4-1 in favor of Swarthmore. We're starting off the top of the 9th with a pinch hitter. This is Christian Dinallo, number 27. 1 hit on the year. 1 for 9 officially. He's got camp again. First pitch swinging. This is 9, 1, and 2 in the 9th. Garnet looking for its 6th straight win. Started with that win over Gettysburg on April 9th. And a 2-game sweep of Haverford, 2-game sweep of Dickinson. And a strikeout looking to start the 9th. And we go back to the top of the order. It's Kramer.
Number 9, Dylan Kramer.
Nine strikeouts this afternoon for the combination of all the pitchers. 6 in all for Swarthmore. Kramer is one of them. He struck out swinging in the 7th. 0 for 4 today for the leadoff center fielder. Hopkins goes down. Johns Hopkins loses to McDaniel. They put a couple of runners on in the 9th, but McDaniel gets out of the jam with a double play. So Hopkins falls with a win today from Swarthmore. Hopkins will be 2 games behind the Garnet. Big win for McDaniel. That has to be their biggest win of the year so far, at least in conference. This ball hit pretty hard to left field back, and Burgess has nowhere to go but to look up at a solo home run. This will make it a 4-2 ball game. A solo home run for number 9. That's his first hit this afternoon, and it's a blast to left field. That's home run number 2 this season for Kramer. And here's Balos. Takes a ball. Two balls, no strikes. Three balls and no strikes now to number 34. Balos with a hit today, also walked. That's strike number 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, a 2-run lead. Ursinus with a tying run now on deck. That ball hit hard but foul. This ball hit over the head of Rothwarg into left field. After a strikeout looking now, it gets a little interesting. After the home run 2, that makes it 4-2 and a single to left field. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound and a possible change. Solomon Griffith represents the tying run at the plate. I don't see anybody in the bullpen, so this is a discussion now between the head coach and Matt Midkiff and his pitcher, Zach Camp. Garnet 2 outs away from taking game 1 in the 2-game set between these two teams. Two runs, 9 hits, no errors for Ursinus. 4 runs on 12 hits and no errors for Swarthmore. Number 26 does have 1 home run this season. Fouls the first one away. This will be a battle. This is the Bears' best hitter. Leads in most offensive categories. And this one down the line and left. Going from first to third and then to second, a stand-up double. And now the tying run stands at second base, still just 1 out here in the 9th. That's the 3rd hit of the afternoon for Griffith.
Number 39, Tim Pine.
And another problem, this is Tim Pine. Pine has a couple of hits today as well. 2 for 3. And he was hit by a pitch. I don't see anybody in the bullpen right now for the Garnet. First pitch popped up in the infield. Coming in, a bunch of different players. Great diving play. That was absolutely big by Silvestri. And a really important out.
Number 5, Jacob Cantor.
And the freshman comes in. You saw Jabbar coming in, Silvestri coming in. Rothwark trying to come across. It was one of those that you were wondering if that was going to hit some grass. And we have another pinch hitter with 2 outs now. Still 2 runners on board with the tying run at second base. And here's number 25, Liam Gibb from Wallingford, Connecticut. Let me repronounce that, Gibe. A senior. He's got a chance to tie this one up, but this is the last chance for the Bears. The 1-0 misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Guy batting 167 this season. Just 2 hits in his 12 at-bats. This one bounced. Good job touching it as it goes foul is Camp. If that stayed fair, that's an infield hit. No one was moving from second or third, but that would have loaded the bases. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. And 2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here, top of the 9th. Ursinus down to its final strike. Big pitch here on the 2-2. And that is strike number 3. Another win, a nail-biter as it turns out, but make it 6 straight for the Garnet. A 4-2 win over Ursinus in Game 1 of the 2-game weekday set. These 2 teams will play again on Friday, but for now, another win for Coach Midkiff and his squad. 4-2 is your final. 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Swarthmore. 2 runs, 10 hits for Ursinus. The big hit coming on a 2-run shot by Reynolds. That came in the 6th inning. In addition to that, Luke Mutz with 3 hits. Austin Burgess with a couple of doubles as well in this one. And again, another win. On the season, Swarthmore now 16-15. They move above 500, but more importantly, 9-2 in the Centennial. So another good Tuesday afternoon for the home team. And they'll do it again on Friday, this time in Collegeville before heading into the weekend. That will wrap up this broadcast on the Garnet Sports Network. I'm Matt Fine. Hope you had a great afternoon. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you back here real soon.